probably my favorite route. I don't hear the music, which means they're talking too much. Now when I'm talking, this should lower. Come on, trainer. Let's get with the program. All right, there we go. Falling behind. I'm gonna get the audio tested. I don't sound very loud though. And I think the problem is there's so much wind that's hitting my mic. It's kind of dampening. Oh, that's even worse. Excellent. Up the gain. Come on. Let go. Hopefully I sound a little bit better and you guys can hear me. It's still, I think, a little bit low. Let me see. The OBS app. OBS Blade. Can't find OBS, of course not. Password set for this? Getting dropped. Got dropped. Can't find section. That's fine. I'm gonna have to let's talk a little bit louder when I do talk. I need to get focused. Warm up for today's absolute madness on Tiny Races. We are going to be doing 2 different crit courses in forward and reverse directions, starting with reverse first and then going forward. And so I was talking with MK earlier. I think this week might actually be harder than last week. It is my kind of race today. I will give you that. So I feel like it's going to be, it's the kind of races that I definitely like, because short, punchy, hard hitting, but because they're crit courses, they're short, 2. So we're going, for Glasgow, we're doing reverse and forward 2 laps. But for the New York course, we're going to be doing the, I think, Park Perimeter Loop, and it's basically 3 times around, because the lead-in is almost an entire lap. And so I think that's gonna make it for a little bit more pain. But your conspiracy in the V pen? Oh, cool, nice. Yeah, I know there's gonna be a lot of regulars. What's up, Camille? I'm feeling good, feeling good. I've officially restarted my, or I guess re-implemented my weight loss plan, because I have a goal that I intend on meeting. I'll be putting out a video for tomorrow that talks not only more about it, but what my expectations are. So it's 2 laps of LaGuardia, but the lead-in is almost an entire lap. And so I'm not not a fan of that, just because it's a little bit more strategy, and it's gonna really push, like it's gonna take all the effort and kind of drain it away. So, but thankfully that's the third lap where most people really start to fade quickly, and I start to hold on to whatever's left. So this should be good. This should be good. I don't want to go to your pen. I've thought about it to see whether or not I could. I've done that in the past, racing in the higher pen, but I don't think I'm ready for it yet, because the last time I did that, granted it was a long time ago, like almost a year ago now, I got dropped within a few minutes, because the first 2 minutes they were doing like 400 watts, and I just could not hold. Miguel Mob, that's fantastic. Should answer for Miguel. You are most welcome. So after due consideration, meaning I popped onto Zwifter bike for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go with the DT65s today. I thought about going with the NB Pros, but the climbs just aren't steep enough. So anything above 2%, the NB Pros are going to make a difference. Problem is, between the 65s and the NB Pros, even going all the way up to like 6%, because that's really where the biggest difference is made when it comes to the NB Pros. Anything above 6%, you're going to get much better game physics and performance. And so, since we're like not spending a lot of time above 6%, the DT wheels are going to really, I think, do well. They basically perform as good as the disc wheels, the Super 8s, or sorry, not the Super 8s, the 85 discs, but you don't lose as much on the climb. And again, even though these climbs are short, the focus for me today is race this like I'm going to race it on Tuesday for ZRL. Because ZRL on Tuesday is going to be painful. There's at least 7 segments for points. But with the Jarvis climb, where people are going to benefit the most from FAL points, is on the front. And so basically, if I don't cross Jarvis with the front 10, front 20, I might as well not even be competitive. Because at that point, all the higher end points are going to be taken. And so my focus is going to be to stay towards the front, try and conserve what I can, but stay close to the front. And then when it comes time to sprint, just sprint. If I can do that successfully 4 times back to back, then Tuesday will be, I think, a little better for me. Oh man, I managed to drop and go. I wasn't planning on doing that. I'm trying to get as many drops as possible. I want to buy the Canyon Aero 2024, because Zwifter bike has it as like a faster bike for my wattage than the SL8. And so if you go onto Zwifter bikes and you look up, like you put in your parameters, and I put in, so the wattage that it shows, or that it requests, I put in my FTP, because that's basically what I hold for these 1 hour races, is I'm around the FTP range. And so I put in my FTP, and it shows the Air Road has a faster bike. And so I want to put that to the test. I want to see if it does help, and see if it ultimately might be a better bike for me when it comes to maybe some of these like shorter, punchier type stages or flat stages than the SL8. In reality, if this were truly a flat stage, like if we were doing Tempest Fugit, the Tron bike is probably going to be the best because it's faster than the SL8. But I don't have the upgraded Tron bike, and I don't intend on upgrading it because A, it's very, very drop heavy, drop expensive, and I don't have the time to focus on upgrading a bike that I'm going to only use every now and then. Especially since pack surfing kind of negates or undermines some of the performance benefits of specific bikes. And so, those are just my thoughts on why I chose what I chose. And so, if you're racing today, good luck. I know Mike's going to be in the pen. Looking forward to seeing how he does, because these are the kind of races that will help him improve his sprint overall. But he's more of a, I think Zwift Racing app would qualify him as like a puncher or a climber, like that range. because he'll hold 4.5 watts for days. And so races like this, where it's hard punches, draft a bit, collect yourself, hard punch, draft a bit, collect yourself, hard punch, and then sprint, will definitely help him improve. At least it's helped me improve significantly. Damn, man. Losing out on drops. I'm going a little too hard off the front. You know, I'm not really going that hard. But because what ends up happening is people push through the robo-pacer groups, build momentum, carry it through. Next thing you know, if you're off the front, Zwift is pulling you up with the people that are pushing harder. And you end up dropping the robo-pacer and you lose out on drops. Like, nobody wants to lose out on drops when you're doing this, specifically for the drops. So, that's how it is. What y'all listen to today? Let's start off here. Now, I will say on the Zwifter bike site, the 4.5 Pros, when you compare them directly to the 65s, their numbers are near identical. Thanks, MK. Their numbers are near identical. It's kind of crazy how, and I think, so the problem I have with Zwifter bikes is I think there's some flaw in their math, which obviously if Zwift released all of their metrics, like what they use to calculate bike weight, CDA, what the CDA changes are for different equipment, plus minus percentages, then people would probably develop mods to truly undermine Zwift performance. And so maybe they're trying to prevent that. But sites like Zwifter Bike, like they're ever so slightly off because there's some wiggle room in the calculations they make. And so I did for ZRL this past week, I used Zwifter bikes, put in my FTP, and it had me going faster by like 9 seconds, I think, with the bike choice and wheels. with the SL8 and the disc wheels, had me going faster by 8 or 9 seconds. I used the 4.5 Pros, and I matched. I actually think I did better than what it recommended for the SL8 and disc wheels, because it can't take into account the pack dynamics and how fast the pack moves. And so the physics dynamics for equipment in Zwift really comes down to individual efforts on specific scenarios. What's up, H-Wound? If you're gonna go off the front by yourself, be on the disc wheels. You're gonna get better performance. If you're gonna climb a 10%, if you're gonna do Bologna TT, be on the 4.5 Pros or the mileage signs. Because everything up until then is not gonna matter if you're drafting the entire way. That's what happened with us when we raced Synoxium the other day. I was concerned that I'd get dropped because the flat performance for the 4.5 Pros versus the disc wheels is significantly different. Like almost 30 seconds in the hour difference. And so I was like, well, it's risky because the first half of the Bologna TT is basically downhill until you hit the center part of the valley, which is almost halfway through the course. And then it's a slight rise, and then all of a sudden you hit that pitch going up the wall. And I was like, well, I might have to work a little bit harder to stay in the draft, but for the climb, it gave me a much better advantage. I just need to learn to climb better. Because man, oh man, did that hurt. And that made my, so that was on Wednesday of last week. Thursday, I did my normal TTT with DW9. And we had some really strong guys in there who unfortunately had to deal with people like me who couldn't hold on and kept on causing gaps. And ended up basically, like, my legs were in so much pain that day. I got off the bike and was like physically ill. Like my stomach was so queasy, and I normally don't get like that. Like that normally doesn't bother me. Being riding hard, I usually don't like I ride so hard that I like vomit like some people. I've just never been that person. But this time around, I was like, I was in so much pain. My body didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to respond. And so when I got off the bike, I was in a lot of pain. Still a little bit sore. Did a recovery ride yesterday. Trying to upgrade my my ethos so I can climb a little better. And so that journey is slow and painful. Nice. Way to go, Georg. Good luck, man. I know you're going to smash it. That's a good group. That is where I think I spent most of my time on tiny races, in that 350 group, because it is like, for people who want to get into racing, that 350 group is like just hard enough. And really, I think full of guys that probably know Zwift racing technique better than some of the higher level categories. Because the stronger you get, the more you can kind of enforce your own dominance. If you watch the My Whoosh UCI semifinals, Kate McCarthy, she mopped the floor with her competition. Even though it wasn't by a lot and she was visibly hurting, the last stage she was like, all right, I'm gonna go off the front and no one's gonna catch me. And that's what she did. And so you don't need to race tactically when you have that power. You can just do what you want and let other people figure out how to tactically remove you from the race. Oh, I got 2 minutes. I guess I should stop rambling. And so that's kind of the goal for me, is to be strong enough to where if I want to go on a breakaway, I'll go on a breakaway. If I want to draft and then sprint hard, I can draft and sprint hard. And so that's where a lot of my racing techniques I learned was in the D and C categories. I really feel like it helped me get to understand how to draft better, how to time things a little better, and now I just kind of, wait, what wheels am I on? I thought I just saw the mileage signs. GT, okay. They kind of look like the mileage signs for a second with that flat surface. Alright, so again, first race, Glasgow reverse. I don't think I've ever raced this course before. Maybe I have in this direction. I feel like this is going to be a little bit easier than the next one, but I've heard from some people that this is harder. There goes Mike and his man bun. Good luck, Mike. 45 seconds to go. And all the fun begins. There's no holding back. Oh, come on, heart rate. What is going on? I don't. All right, let's see. Why did my heart rate unpair? Don't want to get DQ'd before I even start. Not cool. Not cool. All right. Right. Gears are checking in. Oh, looks like someone didn't start. Unfortunate. Now, if you watch Ben's race from earlier, he did a lot of steering. Hopefully I have the concentration to do that. But it does help. Nope. Only one arrow, bro. Don't make that mistake, Mike. Only one arrow, guys. That was the final few hundred meters. This is where the sprinting started in Ben's group. Which is kind of a blind sprint. I see a check mark. Ooh. My shorts keep getting caught on my saddle. Whew. Good. Whoever launched early, good for you. Five minute or 700 watt efforts. That's brutal. Keep rolling my legs. Good job. First thing me top 10, yeah. Thanks, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was hard. That was hard. The only thing I don't know is I didn't paying attention on Ben's stream is if we go straight to Clyde coming out of here, I think we go left instead of right at the outside road and then come around the normal way on the Clyde, which I feel like is a more painful climb. It is steeper, but you go steep, fast down, steep, and then rolly, and you feel good. But the finish is the harder part because the finish is longer than the reverse direction. And you'll see why if I can manage to pull it off. But if you follow Rob the Zwifty Zwifter, you know exactly what the plan is. The question is whether or not I can execute on it. Uh, 2 minutes. Never zone 2, Huber. Never ever zone 2. Make sure you're drinking up. Mike. Oh my God. The maximum amount of caffeine and energy. All right, 30 seconds. Correct. Only one power up. So he changed that not that long ago. And then when he changed the categories back to the original, he never changed the power up and never mentioned it, from what I can tell. And so a lot of people are confused. All right, here we go. Thanks, man. Wow, that was tough. That was tough. Nice. Good job, man. Oh, great job, man. Oh my God. Swing my legs. Oh my God, my legs. So this one, we end on the sprint that's near the glass roads. And so it's a uphill, downhill, up sprint segment. A little bit harder to manage. So I'll have to watch what gears I'm in. Oh wow. So man, I honestly think because of the repeated attacks on these climbs, these stages just might be harder than last week's. Oh my God. Wish Sauce would show me my Zwift or my terrain profile. I can't see it, so I don't know what it is. Wasn't paying that close attention on the recon when I was watching Ben's video. Need my heart rate to come down more. This was probably the hardest week I've had in racing in a while. Lots of climbing, tough stages. Strong competitors. So, all right, here we go. Oh, Mike. Oh my God. All right. Wow. Hey, you're in a tough group, man. I've seen Rough Draft Cycling's videos and the groups you're in. There's some stupid strong ACAT riders. Oh my God, that hurt. Okay. Get my legs out. I should have probably used these wheels on the last one. Come on. This route is definitely easier than the Glasgow. It's just a lot of the undulation and you're kind of like going downhill and drifting to the back was hurting me a bit. I'm hoping the wheels help with that. Even though I'm gonna have to push a little harder on the uphills. But I think the most we did on the last route was like 4 to 6%. And so this route, I believe, is slightly flatter. My God. Hey, well, good luck, Liverpool. If that's what that says. I see liver game because my little gradient thing is covering. I'm assuming the pull part, right? Oh man. Really lost in my water. Doing good, Mike. You're doing good. Alright. 12 seconds. Oh boy. Good job, man. Here we go. Last race. Oh, I forgot to start the bedding. Sorry, guys. Thanks, man. Not bad. Top 10 so far. Oh, yeah. All right. Picked the wrong direction for these wheels. Oh my God. Oh, my legs. I'll take it. God, my legs. Oh my God. That hill right before gets me again, man. Oh my God. That was painful. Good job, Mike. That was painful. Oh, my legs. Good job, Mike. You came in right behind me. Should have pushed a little harder. Oh man, that hill right before was just enough. Like, you know, it's not a steep hill, a couple percent, but it was just enough, and I was in gear, I think 10 or 12, somewhere around there. Just enough to lower my RPMs to like 40. And made me lose my momentum on my legs. Hitting the brakes like that. Oh my God, it hurt. It hurt a lot. Oh my God. Checking the mic screen. Oh, that's painful. Free race, let me know. Definitely want to see what you guys did. Oh, my legs. Wow, that hurt. Hey, 10th place. Good job, man. Oh, my legs. Go, 10th place, go. Oh, my legs. Only 7%. Oh, my screen jumped over to Rob. Yo, what's up, Rob? My legs are killing me. Wish I had the ability to send you guys over to Rob's stream. But unfortunately, you only get that when you go over 1,000 subs. Oh, my legs. My legs. Alright. This was painful. Phil on wheels. Okay. Nice name. Oh my God. Let me go to 9.1. Always want to count for rounding errors. That's the goal. Count for rounding errors. Oh boy. Okay, so I should have went harder on that last one, but I let that momentum, I let that hill make me lose momentum. Which, again, on the DT, I should have done these wheel choices in reverse. The discs for the reverse course, or sorry, the disc for the forward course, and then the DTs for the 65s for this little reverse. If I said that correct. Yeah, the discs for the forward and the 65s for the reverse. I think that would have been a better wheel choice because the reverse has the 2 steeper hills, which I had to put a little more momentum, a little more power into maintaining my momentum. But hey, you can join. Oh, dude, you just gotta bomb one more race and you can be in our group next week. I don't know that you have the abilities to bomb your own races. You're pretty good, pretty strong. But if you want to join us next week, actually, I won't be in the tidy races next week. I'm gonna be out of town, and so taking my daughter to college tour already. It's insane, man. They say kids grow up fast, but the reality is when you have a job, you spend a lot of time working, and so you end up missing out on big chunks of life. Dude, good job on the 2 top 20s and the podium, first place, man. That's awesome. I think the Glasgow Crit Reverse that's a tough course. Probably tougher than the regular. Because the regular, you go over Clyde, you go over that second hill, and then you're almost in a way coasting the rest of the way until you get back to Clyde. Where the reverse, you go big hill, valley, you go like it's like a little hump, like a camel hump, and then big hill again for the Clyde. And that almost splits the course almost perfectly in half. And so it's like big hill, coast, sprint. And then big hill, coast, sprint. And so that makes it really tough. And that's kind of what Tuesday ZRL is going to be. That's going to be a tough course with the different point segments spread the way they are. Specifically the going up Jarvis and then coming down to the sprint segment. That's going to hurt a lot of people. He did a ladder race on Glasgow Reverse. I like it. I think for a ladder race, I think that would be a great course, because, like I said, because of the hills, the way the hills are split, it would make for really good tactics. Because you can split apart the group in 2 different spots throughout the race instead of 1. Oh, my legs. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. I feel good, but that hurt. I need to save my legs for Tuesday. So appreciate you guys checking in on me, cheering me on, and again, congrats, Mike, for completing your 510 to 700 tiny races. And you did good. You did good, man. You were up there a lot. Up there a whole lot. So thanks, Steph, Camille, Georg, MK. Thank you guys, Joshua. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for checking in on me. And I hope you guys have a good week, good weekend. And I will see you guys. Oh, my legs. Oh. Quads are vibrating. Alright, guys. I will see you in the next races. Again, I will be putting out a video for tomorrow on my plan of attack for this weight loss transformation. So look out for that. We'll see you guys next week.